Hello and welcome to this episode of the ESG Fitness Podcast. I have Claire with me. Happy Christmas and, well, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. How are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I actually felt a little overwhelmed on Boxing Day. I don't know if you get this, but we had a really nice time. Christmas Day we spent with Sean's family. We cooked for them at his mum's house, and then Boxing Day we went to my mum's. But by the end of Boxing Day, I just felt like I needed to sit in a dark room on my own.
Yeah, see, I would have got that apart from my Christmas was totally different. I just find Christmas so boring.
Yeah.
I think it's because I was just with my mum and dad, which was really nice. It was so nice to spend time with them. But I went for 3 walks just because there was nothing else to do. And then I went to bed at 8:30. So I was like, what are we meant to do? There's nothing to do.
Yeah.
And then I was buzzing on Boxing Day.
I guess for you as well, it's such a stark contrast from being in London where there's so much going on, there's so much to do all the time.
Yeah, it was nice to be home, but a couple of days was enough. And I was buzzing to get back. My mum was like, "You're not very good at being bored, are you?" And I was like, "No." I don't see the point in being bored. Why not just do stuff?
Yeah.
I get what she means. I think she means you're not very good at not doing anything and relaxing. I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's not my And then she was like, "Do you think it's because of your back and when you sit a lot, your back hurts?" And I was like, "This behavior does precede my back, doesn't it, Mum?" And she was like, "Yeah, it does." Just you've never been able to sit and do nothing. I was like, "I know." Yeah, it's just not for me.
Yeah, Sean's a bit like that. He struggles to he struggles just to do nothing. He always needs to be doing something.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Oh well. All right. What are you doing for New Year?
So we are going to our friends tonight for a little dinner. We're going to have a little 2-course. She's doing a nice, I can't remember what she said she was cooking now, but something not Christmassy.
Okay.
And then I'm making
I don't know that.
Yeah, I've got to make a pavlova today. Wish me luck.
What for? Oh, for that?
For tonight, yeah.
What is a pavlova?
It's meringue with cream and then fruit on top, and I'm going to make a little raspberry coulis to go with it as well.
Oh, babe!
I know, yeah, but I've only ever made a meringue once before in my life, so wish me luck.
So how do you? Is that the hard thing?
Yeah. So it's whipped egg whites, and then you add in sugar slowly and keep on whipping it until it goes glossy. And you have to put a little bit of white wine vinegar in it and a little bit of corn flour. And then, yeah, you bake it in the oven and it goes
Oh, I'm quite intrigued to see how this
I'll
turns
send
out.
you a picture later.
Yeah. No, that sounds very nice.
Yeah, so it should be good.
Yeah. Are you going to stay up until midnight? Or are you just going to go to bed?
No, I expect we'll all be in bed by 10:30.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm going to have dinner with one of my mates and then I'm I don't know, my cousin was like, "Come over to mine." I'm like, I could think of nothing worse than not on the tube on New Year's late. Oh. And
No, absolutely not.
No. I shall be going to bed and then I'm going to have a nice day the next day and I always want to do something that's really positive that next day.
Yeah, make the start of the year super positive. Yeah, and I just think I usually go to bed at 8:30 or 9 in the evening. I'm such an old woman.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm usually in bed by 8:30.
That kind of surprises me because you work shifts. Or maybe it doesn't surprise me because you work. No, I think it does surprise me because you work shifts.
Yeah, I think I've never really been a night owl, so yeah, I don't want to feel really, really tired tomorrow because I want to do something positive. I want to go for a nice long dog walk in the morning and I want to do some bits tomorrow. I'm not really going to be working tomorrow, but I want to lay out some plans for the year and do some admin bits. So
the weather's meant to be horrendous though, isn't it? Loads of stuff in Edinburgh got cancelled, the whole of the Edinburgh whatever. Yeah, rain all day, gusty winds and heavy rain all day tomorrow.
I'd really just some really cold, frosty but sunny weather.
Babe, no. What about not cold but sunny weather?
Okay, not cold, but yeah, but if it's winter.
Oh my God, it's going to get really cold. Gonna have to go to Cape Town. There we go. Sorted.
You must.
I must. Yeah, I'm going to be booking that.
You absolutely
Okay. Let's do this. Let's do the first question.
Let's do the questions. So, just for everyone, we have gone through and picked out the New Year's questions, so they're relevant, and then all the other questions we will get back to. Except this first question isn't really New Year, but it was left a little while ago, so I thought we'd add this one in.
All
So
right.
the first question is, and actually maybe it is pertinent to this time of year. I really struggle with rest and don't feel able to allow myself to take a day off, either training or cardio. Sometimes more than one session a day. I know the law of diminishing returns, but I can't seem to move forwards. Any help greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, so the first thing to consider, this depends how your mind works, right? So for me, because I used to do that, well, maybe not quite this, but I used to train twice a day most days. Like I'd get up in the morning and do something, and then I'd go to the gym in the evening with my mate. So I was like doing double sessions. And I remember changing jobs, and I was like, I actually couldn't fit that, can't do that anymore. And for like, honestly, I was like a little bit freaked out. I was like, oh, what's going to happen if and I halved my training overnight, and nothing happened, literally nothing. And it's just kind of proof that you are just spinning your wheels after a certain point. Like your body can only adapt and recover from so much exercise. And this person in particular, you're overtraining. Like you are, it's not just that like, oh, there's law of diminishing returns. Like you've got to the point that they're not just smaller returns, they're not just diminishing, they are negative returns. So like if you do too much, not only do you not like, you just don't recover from it at all. And then you're starting at a lower baseline recovery in your next session. So by doing more, you're actually getting worse results. Like I can guarantee this is what's happening. And I get that it'll be a little bit scary psychologically. But here's the other thing, like try this for 30 days. Try actually training and recovering and fueling yourself for 30 days. If you then want to go back to overtraining and training twice a day, do it. I think sometimes the fear kind of comes from like, oh, well, if I stop doing this, then what? It's like, well, then go back to it. Fine. But the truth is, I know that after 30 days, you will feel like a completely different person. And I think when you've been doing this for so long and you've been overtraining for so long, this becomes your norm, right? So you're like, I always feel like this. I do have high energy, or like, this is my normal energy level. And then when you start actually training in a smart way that you can recover from, you realize like your energy, not just in the gym, not just in your performance, but just like for life is so much bigger because you're not in this constant state of overtraining. And when you become habitualized to that, you actually don't realize that you have quite low energy. So I'm excited for you to like try this, but like I get that it is a bit scary if you're someone who's been overtraining for a long time or like doing an excessive amount for a long time. But you will feel so much better when you do this.
And I think as well, remember that like a rest day, quote unquote, doesn't mean that you have to lie on the sofa all day and do absolutely nothing. You can go for like a really nice walk. You can do some movement, do some activity, maybe do something that like isn't your usual training. So like maybe some gentle yoga or something to make your body feel good and make yourself like you feel like you're doing something with your time and you're not just sitting around doing nothing.
Or, and only because I know this person, right? Something that isn't physical. So, like with that time that you were going to go to the gym, you could be reading or playing with your kids or teaching something, teaching them something or I don't know, like something else. Maybe it's like painting the kitchen that you have said you're going to paint for ages. It doesn't always have to be physical. And maybe if you reframe a rest day into a recovery and adaptation day, because you don't build muscle in the gym, you build muscle outside the gym, right? You actually break down muscle in the gym, and then it's outside the gym that you're building that muscle. You need that time, that energy, and by energy I mean food and rest, to then like adapt to the training stimulus. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I completely agree. And actually, what you said then, like, yeah, maybe choose to do something really productive, like, so you feel like you're still doing something, like you said, like, yeah, painting your kitchen or whatever it is, that like life admin, whatever. So you don't feel like you're doing nothing, but you are allowing your body to recover and build, which ultimately is what you want.
Here's one for you. Go and learn about money and investing. That's a great use of your time. And I say that because most women don't know anything about this. And that's an actual travesty. I think, you should be taught this stuff at school, not like fucking Soka Toa or something like that. And it really like pissed me off when I started learning about this, because I was like, why was this not explained to me sooner? Why do I not understand any of this stuff? And it's especially women. So yeah, that would be a very good use of time. And by the way, like just on that topic, I think sometimes people think, oh well, I don't really have much money, so there's no point me like learning about investing. No. Like if anything, you could kind of argue like there's more point you learning about investing. Everything's relative. Like whether you've got an excess of £500 that you can invest every month or £50 that you could invest every month, it kind of matters like just as much at £50, because if that's what you have left, then like that becomes more important. £50 to you is more important than someone who's got £500, right? So it's all relative, and it's worth it for everybody. And the sooner that you do it, there's like investing is one of the best kind of like analogies for exercise as well. It's like you can't go back in time and start when you were younger.
Yeah.
That would be the ideal, but like now is the best time. The longer, like even if you get really lucky with investments, it's really about like the length of time that you're doing it. Much like with exercise, like you can get really bogged down in, is this exactly the right form of exercise to be doing? Instead, just think about like, am I doing anything for a prolonged period of time, right? Forget it being perfect, but like, are you being consistent? Same with investing. Like forget trying to get the absolute best deals and blah blah blah. Just be like, am I consistently doing the right things? Yes. Okay, that's what's going to get you the best long-term results. And it's not sexy, and it's not exciting, and you're not going to suddenly become a millionaire overnight, much like you're certainly not just going to become absolutely shredded overnight either. Like it takes time, but you have to do it consistently.
And it's so worth it. Go and read The Psychology of Money.
Yes, such a good book.
Great book. Next question. What would you like to have achieved by the end of 2025? And the second part of the question, what can't you give up? In brackets, I hope Emma answers love.
Who's this from?
I don't know, Maureen's posted it.
What do you mean you can't give up love?
Well, like, I guess you can't give up on love.
Oh, do you know what? Like, just because we've probably like alluded to this enough, and I've definitely spoken about it enough, right? But had a bit of a heartbreak situation coming to the end of last year. This year, or whenever this comes out, right? Whatever, 2024. I'm 100% not someone that gives up on love. Though, like, I know a lot of people go through heartbreak and they're like, do you know what? I'm just never going to put myself out there again. And like, I'm never going to, yeah, like, it just seems so sad to me. I'm like, I know that this is really cheesy, but it's better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all. But I think what a shit way to spend your life. And I understand it. People are like, I'm scared of getting hurt again. It's like, what? You're scared of getting hurt again, so you're just not gonna do, like, so you're never gonna be happy again, or like, so you're never gonna like fall in love with someone again. It was well worth it. Like it was fucking horrible, but like it was 100% worth it. So
Excellent.
I haven't given up on love. Don't worry.
Yes. What would you like to achieve by the end of 2025?
I was thinking about this like over this week, because I think it's a really like reflective period, and a lot of people have like time, and I had many a long train journey to be kind of reflecting on stuff. And I find, I know a year isn't that long to some people, but I find it's almost too long to set goals for me. Like there are certain things that I probably want to achieve, but the way that I live and my vibe of imperfect action and jumping at opportunities, and like I don't really plan that far ahead. I have no idea where I'll be in a year, like physically or mentally or business wise or whatever. Like there are certain things I won't change. Like, I don't think I'll be like moving complete careers or anything, but I don't know the exact specifics of that. I know vaguely I want to be able to help more people, impact more people. And I'm still just as passionate about coaching as I ever have been. Like none of that has changed, but I don't have like specific goals on that. But I much prefer setting like 1 to 3 month goals, or like a theme for the month. So like January, I really want to get fit. And I know a few people were like, oh, don't you mean like fitter or whatever? And I get that, like, I look probably, not to blow my own trumpet, but like I look like I'm in shape, right? But I'm actually not that physically fit, just because I don't really train in that way. So that's my vibe for January. I'm like, yeah, I'm quite excited about it. And I'm like, yeah, it's such a more like positive and exciting way of training than just like, I mean, it wasn't even like I was training for body composition or fat loss or anything. It's just I should train to feel good. And that's kind of been like the last couple of months have been that. And now I'm like, I'm excited to see like what my body can do. And also, this is like really underrated, is the fitter you get, the more energy that you have and capacity for the rest of your life. Like everything is easier when you're fitter. And thus like you've got more energy for work, you show up better. So like I'm excited about that. That's my vibe for January. What's your year goal?
Um, I don't know if it's something I will achieve by the end of the year. I don't really know how long it will take or if I'll even know when I get there, but I really want to like financially future proof myself. Don't know if that sounds a bit weird, but like I don't want to. Yeah, I think like I've thought about it a lot more in the last year, probably because I'm in my mid 30s now. Like 40 is approaching, and like I think about my mum and my stepdad, and they're retired, and like they're very privileged, and they live a really nice life, and they do lots of lovely things together. And I think like yeah, I'd like to be able to be at a point where I know that like my future will be
Mhm.
yeah financially stable, you know.
I would set targets because I know you said like I'm not really sure I'll know when I get there. And
Yeah,
the thing is, especially with finance, you will just move the goalpost every single time. And I
yeah,
remember this, like I was like, oh, if I've got this much in a savings account, then I'll feel completely financially stable and then I'll like move up, like then it'll be fine. And then you get that much and you kind of realize like, God, that's really not a lot. Like that's like one bad thing happening and then you've got no savings and then you kind of like move the so I'd be quite practical with like what is it that you want, what do you want your retirement to look like. This is exactly how financial advisors map it out as well, like okay, what's your kind of quality of life, how much do we think that would cost, what kind of pension would you need to achieve that, what kind of monthly contribution would you need. And some of the stats around that like blow your mind, like how little if you start early, like we're probably starting a little bit later. um,
yeah.
You keep talking because I think. But have you got a cat?
Oh yeah, sorry, she's meowing. I said to Sean, like he's downstairs with the dogs, and I was
Oh,
like,
I could only
whatever
just
you
hear it. I was
do,
like,
keep them quiet. And now I put the so we've got no, I've got no door on my office because
oh,
we're still renovating our house after 6 years. But I have got the door, so I've just like slid it across, but there's a gap at the bottom which she's just squeezed herself through. I
oh.
thought she was going to get her head stuck. Um,
Yeah, keep going. I'll come back to this because it's a good one.
yeah, but yeah, so I would like to be, and even not even just in like, oh, I want us to be able to like go on loads of nice holidays when we're retired or things like that, but just like know that if one of us was unwell or unable to keep our income coming in, that actually like we would be financially prepared for that. Like I don't ever want to be in a position where I'm freaking out about money that I can't like pay my bills or whatever. So yeah, and then what I can't give up. Um, I don't know if there's something that I can't give up, but I'll tell you what I do want to give up in 2025 is worrying and anxiety, and just to be a bit more chilled out. I think I've always liked to think of myself as like quite happy go lucky, but actually I think I'm quite highly strung.
Really, because you come across quite happy-go-lucky, but then I guess in your own head you could be like,
Mm. I think I allow myself to get quite overwhelmed easily, and I need to like work on not letting that happen.
What? So that's not what you're gonna not give up. That's what you're giving up.
That's what I'm giving up. What
No.
I can't give up, I don't know. What do I not want to give up? Fake tan. I love fake tan.
I was thinking the other day, I was like, I look so pale. Never been so pale. Then I thought, well, if I go to Cape Town, I'll get a real tan.
I
And
don't know
then
what it
I
is. I
started
just
looking at like vitamin. Do you supplement with vitamin D?
yeah.
Good. How much?
Um. Oh god, I can't remember. It's just in like a multivitamin I take. Is it
See, I have
10?
now become quite against a multivitamin. Partly because they tend to just fill it with like cheap stuff,
Interesting.
as opposed to like the stuff that you actually need. Um, but yeah, like there definitely won't be enough vitamin D in that.
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
have a look.
So get some more. And then my top tip for vitamins is if you go to like Holland and Barrett or something, they're just ridiculously expensive for like the same thing. And then you go to like Poundland, So I get my vitamin D from Poundland. Now it's only like 400 IU, but I like to take like 2,000, so I just take more of it, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, I'm still trying to find this stat because it's such a good stat and it blew my mind. Oh, okay, right. I found the presentation that it's in, so we're almost there.
We're almost there.
We're almost there. I don't know what that song was going to be. I think it was "We're all in this." Oh, right. Okay, I found it. Right. It says it's the sooner you start, the better, right? So this is the monthly investment that you'd need to make to reach £1 million retiring at 65. If you start at 20, you only need to invest £95 a month. So this is assuming 10% return, but then that reduces by 1% a decade because you're going to reduce the risk in your portfolio by about 1% a decade, right? So at 20 years old, only £95 a month. That's mad. At 30, £340 a month. So still like, you know, doable for a lot of people, especially when you look at like where you're putting your other expenses when you start to like understand investing. At 40, you would need to invest £1,052 a month. So I guess, what are you, 33, 35?
35, yeah.
Yeah. So you must be somewhere in between those. It's quite a big jump, isn't it? 340 to one. like 340, you're like, oh, I could probably do that actually. And
I
then
can
like
just about manage that.
£1,000. Like, yeah. And then if you start at 50, £3,155 a month.
Mm. But
Yeah.
when you were saying that, like, you felt really angry that like you'd not been taught all of that at school, I felt exactly the same. Like when I read that book and then I started looking into investing, I was like, why the fuck has no one taught me this before? Like, I just felt really, I don't know, all that fucking useless shit that you learn at school that like actually doesn't matter, but it's because it's part of the curriculum, you have to learn it. And then like actually really useful things for being an adult.
And even just knowing how to do that, like putting it into a pension or having an ISA or having a LISA, which, do you have a LISA?
No.
It kind of like, remember there was those help to buy ISAs, but I don't think they
Yeah.
do them anymore.
It's a lifetime ISA, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which might be a good thing for you to do because if you're like, I'm thinking of future proofing, so you don't think you can touch it till you're 50,
Hmm.
but the government do give you 25% up to £3,000. So if you put in £3,000 the max each year, you get £1,000 a year.
Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't
And
it?
then you obviously invest that as well.
Mm.
Yeah. Like I invested all of mine in MicroStrategy and it's whoo. And it's tax free.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very important.
Anyway, not financial advice. Go and speak to your own financial advisor, just to caveat everything we've said. Okay.
Advice for people who are naturally introvert to navigate the noise of Christmas, but also New Year. So many people and socializing. I take breaks when I can get them, but how to pace myself when I want to hide.
Well, I feel like that's literally what you said happened to you on Boxing Day.
Yeah. Oh. Um, yeah, I think just taking small moments out and like, so on Boxing Day, my sister was there, which was quite nice because I went off with her a couple of times and just had a little quiet chat and then would go back in and mingle with everyone else. And I think, yeah, like sometimes if you just need a bit of a time out saying, I'm just going to go and wander around outside for 5 minutes or whatever, like it's fine. No one really minds. Like if I was hosting a party or something and there were loads of people here and someone said, oh, I just need to go outside for 10 and just have a breather, I'd be like, yeah, cool, like help yourself, you know?
Yeah, see, I agree with that, but I think some people do find that weird and think, oh my God, is she like, oh, she's gone outside on her own, like she must be really upset or whatever. You're just like, no, no. My family are really good at that. Like my mum was, I just specifically remember this, like, oh, I was like, I'm going to go out for a walk. And she's like, oh, I'll come if you want to wait 10 minutes. But this wasn't me saying no to walk with my mum, by the way. We'd been walking many a times while I was home. But I was like, no, I just need some headspace on my own. But there's never, like with us, it's like, yeah, fine. She'd do the exact same to me. Like, no, I just need to clear my head. And it was like, okay. It wasn't like, oh, you want to be on your own, do you? Wow. Whereas I have had that with partners of like, I'm just going to go for a walk for 10 minutes, like on my own. That didn't end well. Actual tears as well.
It is so hard to know what to do in that situation. And I think probably it gets easier with practice the more you do it. And also, as well, like saying no to things that you don't actually really want to do. Like, you don't have to go to every social occasion, you don't have to go to every event. And, like, actually, if you just need time to sit and be on your own and be quiet, like, that's fine. And I think I got a lot better at that when I lost all of that weight and put a lot of time and energy into myself, like keeping my own promises, getting to know myself a lot better. Something I got really good at was saying yes authentically, but also saying no authentically, and being able to put boundaries in place.
JOMO, the joy of missing out instead
Yeah.
of FOMO. Yeah,
Yeah. And sometimes it's just great, isn't it, to like
yeah.
not do something that you feel like you should be doing, but actually you don't really want to. So don't do it. Like, life is too short to do shit that you don't want to do.
Yeah. Weirdly, I don't know if anybody else gets this, but I find like groups don't bother me. Like I don't get like whenever we've done events and stuff, and I've done events with Amelia, like afterwards she'll be like, I just want to sit in like a dark room for a little bit. And like groups give me so much energy, but see one-on-one time with people, that really fatigues me because I feel like I have to kind of like be shown up the whole time. Not like someone who's so close to you that you can just be in silence or whatever, but when it's just like one-on-one time and I feel like there's like a pressure on that, that really tires me out. But in a group, because I'm quite happy, then you could just kind of like duck into the background a little bit or like go off on your own and nobody really notices because it's a whole group of people. Or yeah, I don't know, do you get that, or are you like no groups?
Yeah, I think it's more intense when you're one on one with someone, perhaps, because, like, particularly if it's not someone that you're super comfortable with and you can't have like really comfortable silences with, because you feel like your brain's constantly ticking over to like make conversation. Whereas in group settings, I suppose there is more opportunity to just like withdraw a little bit and stand at the sideline and like take a breather and then put yourself back in. Um, I definitely know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I think it depends on the type, on the group of people that you're with, right? Like when you do events, everyone's really pumped. It's really great energy. Everyone's there because they want to learn from each other. They want to do better. They want, like, the energy is that, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think like a lot of the time you'll feed off that and you'll leave feeling like absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, I think there's that. And then I was thinking about that just as you were talking. I think part of it as well is that most people have come at least semi on their own. So you're not reliant on anybody else. Like, actually, you went home during the event and was just like, I just want to spend a bit of time on my own. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, I went back to the hotel and I just like had a shower and got changed, and I just needed like, yeah, 30 minutes just
Yeah.
on my
And like,
own.
and nobody was like, oh my God, is it like, where's Claire? Like, what's going on? It's just like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Fine. But I
Because
think when you're
also
like
we were,
all adults coming to something individually,
yeah,
you kind of come to what you, it's like, if you want to come to half the day, then come to half the day and
yeah.
for dinner later or whatever. Like no one's like there like clocking you in and out or relying on you to be there or is only there because of you. Or I mean,
Mm.
I probably wouldn't leave halfway through.
Well, you can't because you're the organizer, you're the queen. But also because we were going for dinner later, I wanted to come to dinner and I wanted to like
Feel good. Yeah.
feel good. So I knew like I need to just have a little break, like go reset and then come back and then I can be fully present for the dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about Christmas?
See my family. You're laughing because I don't really like Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? I used to really shy away from saying that because I was like, oh, I should really like pretend like I really like Christmas. But I actually just really don't like it. And I'm quite happy when it's all done. And I find it quite either boring or overwhelming, depending on how much of my family I'm with. Like
Mm,
if there's like loads of people, it can be like quite overwhelming, or it's just stressy to organize everyone and everyone wants different, and you're just like, yeah. Or it's just quite boring. And I just like getting on with life. And I feel like everything stops at that time of year as well.
yeah.
And that's not a me vibe. But equally people love it, and I love that people love it. It's just not for me.
Yeah. My favourite thing, I think, is seeing people's Christmas lights on their houses.
Oh yeah, I do
Like
like.
when I walk the dogs in the evening, and yeah, just like walking around the little town that I live in. I just love seeing everyone's house like lit up. Like it gives me like the warm fuzzies.
See, I love and also hate that. So like the house opposite where my parents live, they had these like flashing lights the whole time. And I was like, how is that not the most? Because they had it in their window as well. I'm like, is that not the most annoying thing?
Mm.
And also just like a lot of energy. I love like looking into people's. This sounds creepy as well.
I
I
love
love
being a
just
stalker.
creeping up behind people in the garden and then just looking in. But I love like seeing into people's windows and then like and then like seeing their Christmas tree. I love that. But see like all the flashing stuff on I also think I'm so like sound like such an annoying person, but flashing lights really get me. Like they make me feel quite sick. I think it's a migraine thing.
Mm.
But if like I remember I was sitting in a coffee shop in Mexico. Mexico has a lot of broken lights, right? And you'd only notice this if it's like a bit of a trigger for you. But like there'll always be a flashing light somewhere. And I remember Amelia came to find me and I was like sat in this coffee shop but like staring right at the wall. Like I was like I moved my laptop to like right at the wall and she was like she was like, what are you doing? And I was like, there's flashing lights behind me and I can't like even if they're in my peripheral, it makes me feel really sick. It's so pathetic and strange, but like such a fragile person. Like, oh my god, flashing lights don't. But also, if you were like actually epileptic or something, like it's quite a triggering time of year,
Yeah, yeah. No,
literally.
I get what you mean. I actually don't like the like real like flashy on and off. I like it when they're just static
Mm.
lights, and I also hate like white cold lights. I like them to be warm yellow. I think because the cold like white light is really clinical and it reminds me of like being in the hospital.
That's true. Yeah, yeah, fair.
So yeah. If you had to ban one Christmas food forever for the entire world, what would it be and why? I know
Oh
what you're going to
my god,
say.
really? Because I don't know what I'm gonna say.
Oh, okay. Maybe not.
Or do you know what? I don't really like nutmeg, but I
Oh,
wouldn't want the entire world not to have it. You know?
yeah.
No, actually, that's not true. It's not nutmeg. Oh my god, I know what it is. Cloves. That that I would ban. And I just don't understand why anyone. I actually like nutmeg. Now I remember cloves. That's what it is. And there'd always be. What is it in? Is it in?
Um, it's in my dad always used to put it in bread sauce.
We don't really have that, but or maybe it was in like cranberry sauce that my mum made or something. But like, I'd always be like, "Is there any cloves in here?" And she'd be like, "No, I picked them all out." Or like, "This is a bit for you and it doesn't have any in it." And there'd always be one, and it would like
Oh,
you like crunch on it or something. Ugh. Oh my god, it's so horrible. It's such a strong taste. I think I would ban that.
yeah,
But
it's
also, I
so
don't feel
pungent.
like I'm happy for other people to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just to put it out there.
I don't know what I would ban. I'm not a lover of Christmas pudding.
Oh yeah, me neither. Or
No, and
Christmas cake, to be honest.
no, I don't mind Christmas cake. But actually, my mum always used to make this thing at Christmas called creme caramel. Ever had it? It's like the consistency of jelly, but it's
Oh
creamy
my
and
god, but
opaque.
it's like caramel.
Yeah, and like you make
That's
it almost like upside down, and then you turn it out, and the top's got like oh,
and you can buy it in like Tesco in like next to the yogurts.
in little yeah,
Oh, that is absolutely vile. I don't understand it
so
because the
gross.
consistency doesn't work. Like if you want something creamy and caramelly, it should be like yogurty,
Yeah,
and then it's
nothing should have a jelly consistency and be opaque.
yeah.
That should
Even
that should
like, do you like jelly?
not really. I don't remember. I probably haven't eaten jelly since I was about 10.
Yeah, I think the fun of jelly is like, oh my god, you can make it into. We used to have this. Distinctly remember this like cat mold that we had. It was the only jelly mold that we had. And it was just like a cat, and that's when we made. But making the jelly was quite fun. But yeah, no. And do you know when else I used to eat it was when I was trying to lose weight.
I was just about to say, I think I've got like PTSD from doing Slimming World for all those years and then trying to like bully you into eating those 10-calorie jelly pots. Just
Yeah,
like,
you'll be so full after this. Yeah,
Such a
okay.
fucking useless thing. Like, so useless.
But I guess if you're trying to bulk something out, I think I used to have it. This now sounds disgusting, but I think I used to have jelly with either like cottage cheese or like some kind of like. Do you know what it was
Oh,
that I
Emma.
used to eat? And I think this is because they didn't used to do high protein yogurts. Back in my day, when I started dieting, they didn't even have high protein yogurts, so you had to make your own, right? And I used to use quark.
Oh.
Yeah, like that, like
Yeah, that like
cheese. I don't
chalky
even know what
cheesy
people
stuff.
use that for because it doesn't taste like cream cheese. It literally just tastes like nothing, but it's quite high in protein. I used
Mm.
to eat so much quark.
With what though? Like, what would you
Like
do with it?
I think I'd put like protein powder in it and mix it. So I'd basically make my own. I actually think I came up with high protein yogurts, and they've still not given me the royalties on that. But yeah, I
Really?
used to make my own with quark. But now looking back again, yeah, I did because I used to bring this little Tupperware with like quark that I'd mixed in with high protein with protein powder. It's actually quite nice. And then I put some nuts on it. Yeah, it was it
It doesn't
like
sound too bad. Like,
it's a weird thing to do, but I did that and it was actually quite tasty with the nuts. Mm,
interesting.
yeah.
Uh, I've also included a non-New Year question because it's such a good one. Where is the line? And I think this will be really good for people going into
Mm.
to the New Year.
Babe, do you
Where
know
is
why this question? Right, read it out first.
where is the line between imperfect action and fuck average? I.e., how do you stop imperfect action becoming average?
This when I saw this question, I thought it was so good that I did a full episode on it and I already posted it.
Oh, great. Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, but what
What's
would your answer be? Because I literally did a full episode on this because I was like, this is such a good question. I think it's something people get so wrong.
I think you have to be really good at calling yourself out. Um, and that's difficult in itself because a lot of us are not. And like, that's, you have to learn to do that. And I think thinking about like nothing changes if nothing changes, right? So like if you're unhappy with where you are at the moment and you're trying to change, but you keep going with the idea of imperfect action and then actually in reality not a lot is changing, then nothing is going to change. So actually you need to take a harder approach or a more fuck average approach to get yourself out of that. Um
That
yeah.
reminds me of like that quote that we love, which is don't get annoyed about the results that you didn't get from the work that you didn't do. Like sometimes you do have to look back and look at your last month and be like, I'm annoyed that I haven't got these results, but like realistically, did my behaviors align with that? And that's like it's a bit of tough love to yourself, but it's also the kindest thing you can do. Of like, okay, well, stop holding on to this goal unless you're willing to do the work to get there. Because
Yeah.
like, there's nothing heavier than that. There's nothing heavier than being like, I really want to lose weight, but then just not doing anything that you need to push yourself to get there. The other thing I'll say, and this was kind of the point I made in the podcast, is when this question was interesting because it brings up a narrative that I think a lot of people have, and it comes back to being a perfectionist and the belief that you need to be perfect, and actually taking an imperfect action approach is going to mean that you do more, not less, right? Because perfectionism is basically being like, oh, well, I can't be perfect. So I just go way over my calories, or I'm not going to get my steps in today, so I'll just not bother at all. Or I only have 30 minutes for a workout, so can't do it. I'll just start again next week because I want to get 3 in a week. That was my target. Well, I'm not going to do it now, so no point, right? Actually, it's an excuse to give up. Perfectionism is just an excuse to give up. That's where imperfect action comes in because you've taken away that excuse. So now when you can't get your full workout in, you're like, oh, well, imperfect action, I'll do 30 minutes. Or now when you can't get your steps in, you're like, not going to hit 10,000, but I can still go for a 10-minute walk. And then we're going to be closer to that. Like, that's the magic of imperfect action. It actually makes you do more, not less.
And actually, that really aligns with fuck average because actually, the average person is going to have that all or nothing mentality. And maybe you before would also have had that all or nothing mentality. So, actually, by doing something rather than nothing, you are kind of like, you are doing imperfect action and also fuck average at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it's exactly that. And I would honestly like kind of whisper that to yourself, you know, if you're like sitting on the couch and you're like, oh, I really can't be bothered. By the time I get to the gym, I'd only have 30 minutes anyway. Just be like, oh, fuck average. Like that is the average, like the average version of you would give up now. Or the average version of you, like I know we're literally at New Year now, but they would have been like, wait till the first to start. But actually, we know that all of our clients have already got back into the gym and started doing stuff and been like, okay, cool. There's like 2 days in between Christmas and New Year where actually I don't have any social events and I can get to the gym and I can eat normally and I'm not going to wait until the first. And then, yeah, I'm going away for New Year's and I'm going to have a few bigger meals again. But just because there's like these two sides of this week with Christmas and then New Year doesn't mean that you have to be like, well, the whole week's completely fucked. That's the perfectionism. But the imperfect action version of you is like, yeah, but in between those times, I can still get in actions that are in line with my goals.
100%. What is everyone in the coaching team's goals or aspirations for their 2025? If that's not too nosy, is there anything you guys really want to tick off your list or achieve? We've kind of already done this.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else
to add.
I feel a little bit as well like I'm in a bit of a like figuring myself out again phase, which did feel quite daunting and now feels just like quite exciting again of like I've literally no idea.
Yeah, I think that's really exciting.
Yeah.
Like you can do what you want, go where you want. Sounds so cheesy, but the world is literally your oyster.
And you can see it, like I was definitely more in the headspace of, oh my God, nobody cares what I do anymore. And I don't mean that in like well, it felt a bit sad. It was like, you know, I was like, oh, I might go to South Africa. And I'm like, no one would care when I come back. Like, you know, like I could stay there as long as I want or not or whatever, which is, and you can look at that as like, how cool. I have so much freedom. I can literally do anything and it doesn't really impact anyone else. And no one's going to like, you know, I could go for 2 weeks or 4 weeks or 2 months and it doesn't really matter. And then, but like when you're still a bit heartbroken, you're like, that's so sad. Like nobody cares. And I'm sure there's a meme of this. It's like, fuck it, nobody cares and you're really happy. Or like, fuck it, nobody cares and you're really sad. And it just depends on like your mindset on the day, I think.
Yeah.
And obviously
100%.
what else you've got going on and where your head's at. But now I'm very much more in like, okay, nobody cares. Great. Just do what I want.
People do still care though. Like if you
Yeah,
went to
I
South
said that
Africa
to my
and
mum.
never came back.
She was like, I care. And I was like, but mum, it makes no impact to your life where I am.
Of course it does.
Well, I mean, like, she's not going to see me. She's not going to be in London, and she's not going to be in Cape Town. So,
Yeah, but like if you went to Cape Town and never ever ever came back,
no, I would never do that.
then that would be sad.
Yeah,
Jordan would be sad. I'd be sad not to see you in the flesh again.
I know.
There'd be so many people. Do you have any tips to work around a less than optimal food environment? I'm visiting my parents for New Year.
Curate your own mini environment. So I think we spoke about this before, but like definitely don't sit in front of like a pile of really yummy nuts. Oh my God, I had the best nuts. Like my aunt sent us like a hamper and most of it was like wine and cheese and stuff. I wasn't really interested. And then there was this like M&S like deluxe nut selection. And I think they had like rosemary and salt like crystallized onto them. Oh my God. Like now that saying that, I think I probably ate more calories in nuts than I did in Christmas dinner. Like they are so calorific, but so tasty.
So tasty. My sister used to make these. She hasn't done them for a few years, but at Christmas she used to roast like a whole big tray of mixed nuts with honey and chili and rosemary and salt. Oh, so delicious.
You know when you walk past those people on the street that are like making caramelized nuts? I've never actually bought any from them because I'm just like, there literally couldn't be anything more fattening than just like sugar, syrup, and like it's like sugar fat heaven, but like it smells so good.
So tasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're so Moorish. So anyway, learn from my mistakes. I actually just opened the packet and just like had it sitting next to me. And I ate like the vast majority and I was like, I might look at the calories on this just to like out of interest more than anything. And then I was like, do you know what? No.
Don't do it.
Yeah, but it's so easy to overeat those things. So, like, good example of like, if you are going to have some, like, pick a few, have them, but then like put the packet away, or like don't sit right in front of it. The other thing I find is that once I start kind of picking at things like that or snacking, it's so easy just to keep going. So if you're like, right, I'm going to spend, I don't know, the whole day. Like, this is especially true on Christmas Day. I don't know what your New Year's setup is, but like, let's say it's Claire's and she's going over to someone's tonight, but she gets there at like 5 because they're going to have a nice drink beforehand or something. If she starts snacking at 5 and then they eat at 8, the likelihood is she's going to snack from 5 until 8 and then actually not really enjoy the dinner as much because she's been snacking on stuff. Much better to kind of be like, move that to later on, or just decide you're not going to snack at all. But like, or if you do want something, like, wait until it's like a little bit later in the night, because I certainly find that with myself. It's like the sooner you start, the sooner that stuff kind of adds up.
I also think as well, like, if you're going to your parents, hopefully you're comfortable enough there that you could maybe, like, pop to the supermarket and get some of your own stuff, as in not that you are just going to eat on your own and no one else is going to eat, but like loads of really nice fruit, like make a nice fruit salad, and use Emma's rule maybe of like, until you've hit your 5 or 6 fruit or veg a day, that you're not going to snack on anything else. And if there's like other things, like loads of different desserts and stuff, maybe make some like chocolate dipped strawberries, but just have undipped strawberries in with that as well. But like a chocolate dipped strawberry, in reality, it's got such little chocolate on it that it's not going to be like tons and tons of calories. So you can have nice things like that and know that actually you're not going to blow the bank. Whereas like if you sit and eat the chocolate covered Brazil nuts, then like that's going to be a really different story.
Yeah. And some of it is just like a little bit of knowledge around things like that as well. That you might like, because you might be like, oh, well, I just, we'll often get clients being like, well, I know I was really healthy. I just snacked on nuts. And you're like, oh. And
Yeah.
and the thing is, it's like you actually wanted the kettle crisps, but you're like, do you know what? I'm going to be healthy and I'm going to snack on nuts. And it's like, you just like tripled your calories easily, if not
Yeah.
more. So having a little bit of knowledge around that, and even with that, like, okay, chocolate dipped strawberries, like, okay, that's a great option instead of like the apple crumble, which is going to be 10 times as much, but you still have something nice and sweet after dinner. So sometimes that awareness is useful, and if you can bring something like that, if you're like, oh, I'll do one of the dessert options, or I'll bring dessert or whatever, and you make it like a little bit more calorie aware and can still be really tasty, then that's probably a good thing to do.
Yeah. Agree.
All right, last one.
Last one. This is the last one.
Oh,
Um, I would like to ask the amazing ESG team for their best top tips for getting back on track in the new year, and Happy New Year to you all.
okay. So don't wait until the new year, is what I would say. Like, that's the number one thing, is like, don't wait until the first. I mean, this is going to come out on the first. So, but as soon as you think about getting back on track, like, get back on track and don't make it this massive thing. It's like, okay, what could you do for the next meal? Okay, plan your next day. I always really like to think of like 3 days. It only really takes 3 days to get you back into routine and feeling really good. Those 3 days might be a little bit of a slog. And when you're kind of like, oh, I've eaten quite a lot. And like, I even noticed when I got back from my parents, I was like, my eyes are like puffy. I think from the amount of like rich food and like saltier food and like just not so used to eating that much. And then actually within like 2 days, it's like, no, now I feel fine again because you're back into a bit of a routine. But don't make it this huge thing. Just plan ahead for 3 days, get your head down, nail those 3 days. And I promise you by then, you'll feel so much better, but you'll also have momentum. And then it's much easier to keep going. So yeah, you might need to kind of push through those first couple of days, but it's not as big a deal as what people think.
Agree. My top tips are: do a food shop, get like, Sean and I did one yesterday, and I literally, like, half of our trolley was fruit and vegetables, because I was like, I know that like I need this stuff in my fridge and in my cupboards. Get rid of any shit that's like hanging around in your fridge or your cupboards. Like, if you don't want to chuck it away, give it to someone. If Or freeze it if it's something that's freezable, but just get it out of sight, out of mind. Also, I think plan your meals. I really like to do this if I've had a few days like off piste, and I really want to like make sure that like the next 4 or 5 days are really on point, I will pre-track my food in MyFitnessPal for like 3 or 4 days. And then, like Emma said, then you're like, I know exactly what I'm going to eat. Like, if I want to change it when it comes to it, it's fine. It's no biggie. I can just change it slightly. But like, have the basic components of like what you're going to have for each meal tracked. So actually, like, that takes all the brain work out of it when you get to it, and it doesn't feel like it's really, really hard. And then you're back into the swing of it. And it feels much easier. And then you'll just, hopefully have that like New Year feeling and feel like ready to
And
carry on.
use that momentum of the new year. Like, it is exciting. You are motivated. Like, use that to your advantage. Like, push yourself a little bit for the 3 days. Like, go with discipline. It's not about balance for these 3 days. It's like, okay, let's get my head in the game. Let's pre-track these things. Let's make sure I'm feeling my best. Let's plan in when you're going to train, what your days look like, how you're going to get your steps in. Like, and I totally agree with getting rid of like food that isn't in line with your goals, or that you've had enough of it. It's like, oh, but we've got some more of these roast potatoes that we need to have. It's like, okay, well, you've had so many over Christmas. Like, yes, you've got some left. Now, a lot, like, I hate food waste as well. So yes, if you can freeze it, or yes, if you can give it to somebody else, but also remember, like, your body is not a bin, and the waste happened when you bought too much food. Eating it doesn't negate the fact that it's still wasteful. In fact, it just takes you further from your goals. So just remember that element as well. Like, sometimes it is better just to throw it away.
There might be like a local like soup kitchen or something that you could like
I
take.
think a lot of the time they won't, like, if you're like, want these like almost out of date, half eaten, massive tray of potatoes, they're like, no.
Maybe not something that's half eaten.
Yeah, okay, fine.
But they are like, it is annoying though, isn't it? So my sister used to, I feel like I've talked about my sister a lot in this episode. She used to live behind like a co-op, and at the back of the co-op they had like the big wheelie bins that they chucked all the out of date food in. And so at night she she would go out and she would go into the wheelie bins and she would pull out like all of this food, which was like perfectly fine. But because either the packaging was slightly damaged, it had been thrown away, or because it was like out of date that day, it was chucked away. Like, so much food waste. But they're not allowed to donate it to like homeless shelters and stuff because it's out of date.
It's mad, isn't it? And sometimes it's out of date that day. We used to do that at uni all the time. And one time we cycled like quite far to go to the back of M&S. And we found like, I think there must have been at least like 10 or 15 Easter eggs that there'd been like, I don't know, some kind of like the packaging was squashed or something. So we just took all of these Easter eggs. Yeah, it was great. Good time.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Mad.
Okay, well, I have a cold now, so I better go. That
Okay.
was lovely. And we'll be back to answer more questions shortly.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. And also, if you do want to work with Claire in the new year, she has a few one-to-one spots open. So head over to esgfitness.co.uk, fill in the application form, and then we can have a chat about, well, Claire can have a chat with you about how she can help you. All right, bye.
Bye.